Hello everyone, how are you? Now in this video we're going to talk about how to draw from imagination. First tip I have for you might sound a little bit weird, but it will help you, which is learn to observe. You need to look and analyze things before depending on your own imagination. You might want to create different creatures and objects, but it's necessary to know what's around us first. That's what's going to give us a base for our new ideas. It will basically help you keep a visual library on your mind. Later on, you can use this information to make your own interpretation of things. So for example, let's say you pick up a pen, a simple pen. You can do a lot of things with it. This is actually an exercise that maybe you can do. Pick up very common objects in your life, in your daily life. For example, a pen, a bottle of something, and try to imagine what can we do with it. Maybe it can be a spaceship. Maybe it can be any other kind of tool. I don't know, from the top of my mind it's a little bit hard right now. It can be a weapon, you can make a weapon out of it. There's just so many things you can create from just a simple object. So this is why it's really good to learn to observe what's around us, because we have those objects in our mind and we can transform them into other things. The next step is, again, this might seem a bit contrary, but draw what you see. So first we look at what's around us, and then we're going to draw the things that we observe, and we learn with it. We learn how the light behaves when it touches certain objects, certain materials. We learn how texture works. There's so many different textures to learn with. We learn proportions, we learn perspective. There's just so many things to learn, just so many things to see and to draw. It's good to first learn from reality, from the things that exist, and then we can start breaking rules and add creativity to our art. So do lots of studies from things in real life and have fun with those, because with each study you're committing shapes, you're committing lines and concepts into memory. This is really helpful for your imagination. Your imagination needs to be fed. You need to give it new things, so it can start using all those things and mix them up with each other to create new things. Now the next thing is to draw from memory. So once you've done all those studies, once you observe so many things around you, try to draw things from memory. So again, the idea of the pen. First you looked at the pen actually, right? That's what we talked about. Then you drew the pen as you see it. And now you're going to draw the pen how you remember it. So you don't have any pens in front of you, you're going to rely on your memory alone. Once you start doing this, you'll notice that at a certain point you won't need as many references to draw something. You won't need a reference for certain poses. When you're drawing characters, for example, you won't need as many references as before, because you already committed those lines, those shapes into memory. You already know the proportions, you already know where the eyes are, where the nose is, where the hands are going to be, how big they should be, and all those things. But it is important to learn how they work in real life first and how you should draw them first. And then you can go and start breaking some rules. If you want to draw gigantic hands, draw gigantic hands. If you want to draw one eye bigger than the other, then feel free to do so. If that makes sense for your designs, if that makes sense for your art and your style, feel free to do so. But first, try to learn from reality and real life. This will really be helpful for you. Now my next tip is, if you did have an idea, write it down. Even if they seem really silly or very simple, it doesn't matter. They can be of use. So write them down. You don't need to work on this right away. Just keep them somewhere you'll know where they are. Because someday you might just be out of ideas, your imagination isn't giving you a lot to work with right now, and you have a place where you wrote all those ideas down that you had a month ago or 2 months ago. It doesn't matter, they're there even if you forgot about them. So open up that sketchbook or that journal or the list on your phone and see the ideas that you have, and if something catches your attention, work on that. Then finally, this is one of my biggest recommendations. which is read news stories, watch things, play games, wherever you prefer. The important is that you're consuming art as well. Our imagination needs fuel to keep on creating new things. So consume media that you enjoy and inspires you. The more you see, the best. Again, you're going to be creating that visual library in your mind. Not only with the things that you see in your daily life, the dogs that you see in the street, the clouds that you see outside, the trees, the flowers, the buildings, the coffee shops, the stores, whatever it is, but also those things that you consume at home, the movies you watch, the books you read, the comic books you read, the games you play, even the board games, whatever it is, your imagination is going to use those things into creating new ideas. Even watching tutorials or classes will help you. The more we grow, so does our imagination. So don't miss out on watching things that you enjoy, on learning new things. Just let yourself see things, whatever they are, as long as you enjoy them. They will help boost your imagination, and for that reason, you're going to feel it will be easier to draw from your own imagination. So this is it for this video. For more tips and art tutorials, like and subscribe, and as always, keep on drawing.